My name's Bryson Story, and I'm a Sigma Chi at Cumberland University.
What degree did you pursue?
So as a student at Cumberland, I originally pursued a degree in biology. I stayed there for a year, and then I ended up in business because biology got really hard, although it's what I loved. I love the outdoors, I love fishing and hunting. And then after that, I went back to biology, and then I finished up the rest of the 2.5 years in biology. And then I actually ended up in interdisciplinary studies, which is basically a combination of biology, business, and a few other random courses. And then I happened to graduate on time. So that was really nice, not having to spend the extra money to stay in school for a whole lot longer. And I graduated, which is what counts.
What positions did you hold in the fraternity?
Oh man, I held a lot of positions in the fraternity. So the first one I remember actually was being vice president, and I was elected that my sophomore year. We had a big turnover in the chapter. A lot of the older guys, the seniors who were holding mainly the top offices, ended up graduating. And then I took over as vice president my sophomore year. And then after that, I held positions such as Magister, which is the pledge educator. I held, oh my goodness, Brotherhood chairman, organizing Brotherhood events. We had cookouts together. We played a lot of, we did like a lot of stuff on the quad. After that, I helped out with the rush chair a little bit. What else did I do? I did a lot of stuff.
What was your last night as an active brother like?
Oh man, last night as an active brother, I don't honestly remember it because it seems like I'm still inactive. I live really close to campus, and I'm pretty heavily involved with the chapter. However, I've been gone the past few summers working, and so as I come and go, I actually end up hanging out with brothers here and there, and then whenever they need me, especially for events like initiation and rush, I'm always here to help. So I honestly don't really remember my last night as an active, but I guess it'd technically be before graduation, and I kind of miss the days of being a true active. However, I still feel like I'm always an active brother at heart.
Why did you join the fraternity?
Oh, so I joined the fraternity, first of all, oh man, it's kind of a long story. So the first night on campus, I actually talked to some of the brothers. Michael Burks, who actually ended up being my big brother, he was the rush chairman at the time, so he was in charge of recruitment. I met him the first day moving into the freshman dorms here on campus. What I remember about that was that I didn't really have like a group of people that I normally hung out with. I wasn't on any sports team. I wasn't a part of any clubs yet. All my friends ended up going to big schools like UT Knoxville, Chattanooga, a few went to Vanderbilt. So I didn't really have that like group of people that I really clicked with. I didn't know about anybody on campus yet. And the Sigma Chi's and Michael Burks were the ones that helped me move in my room, my freshman move-in day. And it was like a really, just kind of like a genuine group of people. And that's kind of like the first experience I remember with Sigma Chi. And that's really the initial start of what my journey as a Sigma Chi was all about, was just that initial phase. And right after that, I started learning more about the Jordan Standard, which you'll hear about in a little bit. And it's been great. It's everything I hoped it would be.
Do you feel as if the fraternity helped you prepare for the workforce?
The fraternity definitely helped me prepare for the workforce. In my career right now, I'm a fly fishing guide, and in that career path, I really deal with a lot of people on a very personal level. I'm with people every single day on the river with them. It's just me and them. So through that, I have to learn how to work with people of very like different personalities, and through Sigma Chi I was able to learn how to express myself and what, kind of like what I'm thinking in a sense where I can express that to them and they're going to understand that. So that's what I have to do in my job, is being able to communicate with people of different personalities. And that's really what Sigma Chi helped me with the most, I'd say, in terms of a career aspect.
As an alumni, how do you feel about the current state of the chapter?
I think our current state of the chapter has good bones, although there's things that we need to improve on. So I think the biggest thing that we need to improve on right now would be our brotherhood. So our brotherhood is, in a sense, there's three parts of it, but brotherhood's a big one. And that's kind of what helps hold us together. There is another higher part, and then there's a lower part as well. But brotherhood is what keeps us active on campus for sure. And I think that's probably the part where we lack, although our club part of the fraternity is doing really well. And there's a few other things that we need to work on too. But I'm going to take care of that within the chapter.
Describe your most rewarding and difficult chapter experiences.
Ooh, most rewarding, most difficult. Man, that was 4 years worth of stuff. Oh, I definitely remember my most difficult. So at the time I was president, and we had a lot of people who didn't get along and didn't see eye to eye, which you can expect within any social structure, within any business. And so as president, it was my job, in a sense, to reunite everybody and remind everyone what we all strive to be as a Sigma Chi in a fraternity on campus, just like the whole 9 yards. It was kind of, I took personal responsibility. That was my job. So I remember a chapter meeting where we had a really heart-to-heart conversation, and I basically laid it out there. I was like, guys, this is what I'm here for. You know, either stick with me. If not, I'm not gonna discredit you, but it's something that we all need to work on. And it was like a very personal conversation that I had with everybody, very publicly, with the brothers. And that was probably the most difficult time, but that difficult time definitely paid off, and the brotherhood became what it was supposed to be again.
What is the Jordan standard?
You want me to say the Jordan standard? Oh man, put me on the spot. The confidence of the founders of Sigma Chi was based upon a belief that the principles which they professed, and the ideal of the fraternity which they sought were but imperfectly realized in an organization by which they are surrounded. The standard with which the fraternity started was declared by Isaac M. Jordan to be that of admitting no man to membership in Sigma Chi who is not believed to be a man of good character, a student of fair ability, with ambitious purposes, a congenial disposition, possessed of good morals, having a high sense of honor, and a deep sense of personal responsibility. That Jordan standard is what we use to recruit new members into Sigma Chi. It's also something that I look at when I go to bed at night and when I wake up in the morning as an ideal. It's something that I'm never going to be able to fully live my life to, but it's almost like it's a standard yet an ideal. It's like a really interesting correlation that they have together. So it's always something that you can live your life based around. And it doesn't just go for someone who's a Sigma Chi or all the brothers. It's honestly just a life skills course. I mean, it's something that anybody can wake up or go to bed and look at and determine whether they've, lived the life in the sense that they really want to live.
What values from the fraternity do you identify with?
Oh, values. I'd say courage, because it's one that I struggle with probably the most. I'm very comfortable in my own skin, but it also hinders me because I'm not good at getting outside of that. I'm not good at thinking outside the box in terms of other places, or I don't have quite the sense of high ambition that I'd really like to. And so courage is the one that I identify with the most. And I need to remember that it's something that it's a principle that we base upon for Sigma Chi, and it's something that I should strive for, and I should be more courageous.
What is your name?
My name is Bryce Parson. I'm a student here at Cumberland University.
What degree did you pursue?
I pursued a business administration degree. Coming into college, I knew I already wanted to pursue something of the sorts, maybe focusing on marketing, merchandising, retailing, any of the sorts. But I kind of just settled on a broad degree, focusing more as a minor in marketing and even further pursuing that into my MBA.
What positions did you have in the fraternity?
In Sigma Chi, I started out as annotator or the note keeper after one of our brothers had to transfer schools. This was weeks after my initiation. After becoming annotator the following semester, I became Magister. I was Magister for 2 years, which is basically just the pledge educator, the new member recruiting, and also the teaching of the fraternity to the oncoming members. This opportunity was absolutely amazing. I was able to initiate anywhere from 15 to 16 brothers. Can't really remember, but it was an awesome opportunity. I later became ritual chairman and also brotherhood chairman, as well as scholarship.
With the ongoing pandemic, how do you feel like your fraternity has handled it?
With the ongoing pandemic, it was really difficult because as soon as school started back up, that's usually when rush is. So to combat rush safely, going with CDC guidelines as well as the Cumberland University's guidelines, it was very difficult for us to schedule the same events that we want to, so we had to come up with new events that were safer, outside, not in close spaces, not in close proximity within each other, respecting social distance. But I think we overcame that very well. We had 5 new guys come into the fall semester, which was great, more than we expected, especially during the pandemic. But we're really pleased with how we're handling it so far, and we expect to continue.
Why did you join the fraternity?
I mainly joined the fraternity, honestly, because I was bored. I know it sounds like a bad answer, but my dad had always told me never to just focus on one thing, kind of broaden your horizons with different aspects and different people around you. Never really understood Greek life. My brother was a Pike at UTC, and my dad was also a former pledge of SAE up at Knoxville. But I never really saw myself as being a Greek life kind of person, never saw myself within a fraternity. All through high school, I kind of pledged that I wouldn't. Little did I know I would become a pledge, which was ironic. But coming into college, I had a buddy of mine that I worked with. I didn't really know anybody on campus besides him, and he was rushing the fraternity, and I kind of just saw it as a way to, one, get free food and also meet new people. I never really expected to join. I came in at the very last day of rush and instantly fell in love. This was the last day of rush, which our advisor, Doc, who gives a long speech of really what Sigma Chi is and who men are that are Sigma Chi's, and it really opened my eyes of something that I wanted to pursue. So the main reason I wanted to join I didn't really want to join in the beginning, but later grew a love for it, and that continues to this day.
Do you feel as if the fraternity helped you prepare for the workforce?
Absolutely. With a business administration degree, you kind of get the feel for business. Maybe not so much the business setting in school, but with a fraternity, it is a business. You get the inner workings of different positions, like Queester, who is money guy pretty much. Definitely someone that's pursuing accounting or someone that just wants to get exposed to it. It's a great opportunity to do so. Our chapter meetings are business oriented. We have our ritual in the beginning and the end, yet in the middle it's strictly business. We're very professional in our manners during the chapter meetings, and it's just great exposure, so you're not coming in fresh. Coming out of college, you have that exposure to a business setting, business contacts, and other sorts of business related.
Do you feel as if you're leaving the chapter in a better position?
I think I'm leaving the chapter in a better position. I wouldn't say it's in the best position, but it's definitely on the uprise. We had a rough semester coming out of, or when COVID first started, and when schools were shut down. We had plans throughout the entire semester, which we had never really attained prior to, which we were super proud of at the time. But 2 weeks later, schools were shut down due to COVID, and that really killed our momentum, our drive, our anticipation for being Sigma Chi's on campus, being involved with other organizations as well as with the university. And it really, it put a damper on everything that we wanted to do. So coming into the fall, it was very difficult to rebuild that momentum that we were feeling towards the end of the semester when campus closed. But I think now that we've initiated these 5 guys, we're on the upswing. We definitely are. But I always wish I could do more for the fraternity that's given so much to me.
Describe your most rewarding experience within the chapter.
I think my most rewarding experience that I've ever felt was, or is, each time, or each semester when have the privilege to do initiation. When I went through initiation, it was probably the most surreal experience that I've ever been through in my adult years. I was only 18, but who cares? But it's definitely going to be one of the top 5 things that I remember most throughout my life, without a doubt. It brought into perspective everything that I had been taught throughout the 8 weeks of pledgeship, and being able to identify as a Sigma Chi along with hundreds of thousands of other great men that are out there was a real privilege. And after initiation, each semester we'll go out to eat usually around lunchtime, and it's a huge camaraderie between the active brothers and the new initiates, and it's just an amazing experience because you're basically combining 2 worlds, especially as McGeester. You've gotten to know one aspect of the fraternity, which is your active brothers that you've known since you were initiated, and now you have to combine this other world of people who have just been initiated, and it's a definite imbalance in the beginning, but once you really start to merge as equals, it's an amazing feeling.
What is the Jordan Standard?
The Jordan Standard to me is almost a rule book or a checklist that I use every day. It encompasses the 7 main standards that we try to attain every day. We'll ultimately fail at it, but it's definitely something to pursue and never to give up on. Once you do give up on it, it basically diminishes your role as a Sigma Chi throughout life.
What is one value that you identify with the most from the fraternity?
The value that I identify with most would have to be self-control. Growing up, I was definitely hot-headed, short-tempered, and that kind of derived from, the average bully, the kid who almost made the basketball team, always the short kid. But it really taught me patience. It taught me to understand other people before people could understand me. I still feel that way to this day. You won't fully know me until I fully know you. That's kind of a comfort for me. It's kind of almost a, I don't know, a shield per se. But self-control has taught me a lot about myself, how I interact with others. Even-tempered, more so now that I've grown up and understand that maybe they're not mad at me. They could just be mad at something else and they're taking it out on me. Self-control can also pertain into business with ethical issues that maybe arise that you'll have to tell your boss about, or self-control within committed relationships. It's very easy for me personally to get mad at the people that love me the most. That's a very scary thing, but reflecting on self-control and understanding that, you know, we're all in this together and that nobody's really out to target me specifically, it's taught me a lot.